Hey guys, this is Nicholas live here with the awesome Crypto Spark, and we're gonna talk about stuff we got planned for 2018. And it's a big year, isn't it?
I think it's going to be a huge year. Thanks for having me, Nicholas. Looking forward to catching up with you and talking about all the stuff that we've been watching happen. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me as well.
Now, we want to cover some of the projects we really liked and followed the previous year, and which we are following this year. So make sure you guys are with us in the live chat, and just tell us what projects you like, and maybe we can give them a shout out, or see what they're about during the live stream, right?
Exactly. A lot of people do ask, and when I do a live stream or during a video, they'll say, hey, can you cover this one? Can you cover this one? And quite honestly, it's really hard because there's so many, and after a while, you can only do so many of them. So during a live stream, if you do homework beforehand, I'm going to mention a bunch of them today that I've talked about. Hopefully that will help people look at different projects. Same with you. I mean, you're looking through all kinds of stuff, but if people don't have time to interact, hopefully this will help them.
Of course. And as we see in the background, all you guys' comments, and Bitcoin, I mean, the market is an awesome point right now. It is trying to tackle this kind of target point of 11,000, which it had some issues, for some time now. So I think once we go over that, it's it's basically all hell goes loose, right? Breaks loose.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different points that people are talking about of resistance and whether there's support. And, this has been a wild ride. I mean, it's an incredible ride. And I put up a video a little while ago, and in the chat, if you guys have seen this video, make sure you put in the chat that you've seen it. Thank you, Colin. You're awesome. Make sure you put in the chat if you saw the video I did a little while ago. And it was about this new hotline out of a company in Moscow. It's talking about it's a suicide hotline, basically for not just suicide, but for addicts of cryptos, because they're in so deep, they're getting so freaked out and they don't know what to do. And I think, this is the way things happen when people are speculating and they have no idea what's happening. It's the height of this unbelievable hyperbolic move. And of course, there are going to be people freaking out and stressed out. It's not any different than what happened in 2008 and what will happen again. It's just throughout the history of mankind. Cryptos is just part of it. But if people go to good channels and pay attention and learn, not just, hey, well, how do I get in and get rich overnight? Then maybe they won't have these crazy, suicidal, addictive kind of. I mean, listen, I feel like I'm addicted to crypto sometimes. Do you feel that way, Nicholas?
Me too. I talked about this earlier, on Cam's live stream, which I totally messed up and didn't show him for half of his own live stream. But
the Crypto Crazy. You are Crypto Crazy. That's a new channel.
Yeah,
we should make Crypto Crazy.
We should. It's just, I guess once you get inside, you see everything else as a distraction, right? Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I think sometimes, you got to put it in perspective, right? I get these different steps and strategies and techniques, and I try to put videos out about them. And some people love them. They're like, that is awesome. And other people are like, oh, that's a waste. You don't get a lot of views. So you got to try to balance it. But quite honestly, if people could understand how to have a strategy technique that evolves over time, keeping your emotions in check and knowing how to build strengths around that, you could do unbelievable in crypto. I wish I could get everybody, you can't do this, but I wish I could get everybody to understand that there's incredible opportunity if you're smart about it. If you're not smart about it, you will see people driving around in Lambos and they'll be excited. And this is a stupid statistic, but I'm going to throw it out there. Hopefully somebody will hear this. If you drive up and down the road in the United States, I'm in the U.S., okay? 50, I mean, we're breaking records on selling cars, breaking records. All right? I think it was like over 18 million vehicles sold last year. So hopefully people will stick around and listen.
Jesus Christ, it's more cars than people.
It's unbelievable. Almost, right? So 18 million, but we have 300 million people. I don't know how many drive, 100 million, whatever it is. 18 million new cars sold. I don't know what statistic of new to use, but I think that's new. That's new cars. Okay, 50% of them or more are by taking out a loan. Now, I know people watching are like, all right, I get it. I know people watching right now. They're like, of course you got to take a loan. Cars are expensive. All right, but my point being is there's a lot of cars going up and down the road that you look left and you look right and you're like, ooh, that is a sweet ride.
Yeah.
That's a nice car.
I wish I had that car.
Yeah, that is sweet. Guess what? The guy doesn't own it. The girl doesn't own it. And that basically means, I don't know, can they really afford it? So this isn't me telling anybody how to use their finances, but what we think. We like so caught up in like the next guy that's driving a Lambo, so exciting that we want to hurry up and catch up with that. And that might not be sexy. I'm sure right now people are like, I'm off of this live stream. This is stupid. Okay, fine. In the end, I'll be driving the Lambo, except it's going to be paid in cash, and it won't be because I can't afford all those other things. Or maybe for me, it wouldn't be a Lambo. But point being is, it's because you do it wisely over time. This is an incredible opportunity. If we do it correctly with the right choices, the right altcoins, the right ICOs, the right Bitcoin amount, or whatever it might be, buying at the right time, not just frantically jumping in and then having to call a crypto addict hotline before you jump off the bridge, okay? That's my 2 cents. What do you think, Nicholas?
You know what? It kind of puts things into perspective, right? I mean, if such some large people are paying for their expensive cars with loans, right? And such large people like you don't even own the houses they live in, and they basically live off of credit. Isn't this whole U.S. economy a speculation?
Yeah, I mean, we've been taught that. People are brainwashed to think that's the way it goes. And they don't know the difference. So like even right now, if you take a credit card or you could get let's say a crypto card, what's the difference? In their mind, they don't know the difference. They don't recognize why it would even matter. So they grew up on credit. They believe that it's by credit. You pull out cash now and people look at you like, I mean, there are countries that cash still is used regularly, like India. 85% of transactions are cash. But here in the U.S., you pull out cash, and if it's a decent amount of cash, now they're like really going, what? What is that? And it's almost like they get nervous. Like they don't even know what to do with it. They don't understand it. So, it's unfortunate, but in my mind, what's up, Crypto Numbnuts? Good to have you. In my mind, it's like if you do this correctly and you know how to look through the ICOs, and you know how to pick the ones that look legitimate and have a really good solid base and sometimes they're not exciting. Right? They're not exciting necessarily ICOs, but they will turn a profit, and that will create something of value, which will give more opportunity than just some pump dump scheme that most people will win and lose, and get their shirts handed to them. I'd rather figure out what really will work. And that's what I'm looking for.
You know what? I think the most important thing to take away from this is that, first of all, crypto is something that, it's very new. But I'm sorry about that. What's more important than that is crypto really shows the true colors of people, right? Because it shows how much someone is really ready to spend money. And most people don't know how to spend money properly. And that's why 90% of people, lose money in whatever they invest in. It doesn't have to be just crypto, right? I mean, Forex, look at the stock market. Most people lose money. And if you don't know how to, the basic principles of handling money itself, I mean, you won't, even though, if you get rich in crypto, like, are you going to stay rich?
Right. And people, I think, will have an incredible success, and then they won't understand why they lose it, because those principles, I know there might be some subtle changes or differences in cryptos over other investment vehicles, but ultimately the principles, I mean, they're the same, and the emotions, they're the same. So this is new. This is different. Times are changing. I think we are seeing a shift in understanding the monetary system. More people are waking up and becoming aware that, hey, there's some really amazing, life-changing stuff here but the principles of mankind have always been the same. And humans really haven't altered much. If they have, it's like small amounts. But the large majority, it's about emotions, risk management, money management, ego being in check, not looking at the guy next to you that, I mean, I see it all the time. Here, I'll give you an example. I don't want to blab. I want to hear more about your opinion on this, but I'll give you an example. A week and a half ago, I did a short video, relatively short, on a trading channel for Bitcoin. That I saw a trading channel. I look all the time. I saw something. I drew my lines, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. This is a trading channel, and so I did a video on it, right? Now, classically, when you look at resistance levels or you look at support levels, classically, for the last 70 years, since it was really coined in a sense, invented, the concept is you look at a point, a high point, a low point, and then you want two more confirmations, okay? So it has to hit that point again 2 more times to hit a support or resistance. All right, cool. I took it and I altered it a little bit because of the trend that I thought I saw, and I didn't look at that traditional exactly 3 points. Somebody else might say you need 5 points. Somebody else says you need 4 points. Whatever. I mean, do whatever you want. I did the channel. I had a lot of people say, cool, thank you, that's awesome. I don't know much about technical analysis. Some people said it's stupid. Some people said it's great. But I got to tell you, I got a few comments that were really harsh because people were like, that's not how it's done. You clearly have no idea how to trade. You don't know anything about technical analysis. I mean, they gave me a hard time. I've only been doing it for 30 years, so I'm not sure I'm great at it. Like, I'm probably not great at it, right? I'm humble enough to know that I'm not an expert level day trader every single day. But what I have learned is that I'm willing to continue to learn, and I'm not going to criticize everybody else for their judgment and what they do, because what those people are doing is this. It's different than somebody. I have a few people that come on and say, they'll send me an email and say, well, let me tell you what I know, and they'll try to teach me. But those people were trying to intimidate me in order to validate their own choices. Right or wrong, they were trying to validate their own choices. And if there's anything I could get across to people is be careful of trying to get other people to either validate your choices or letting them intimidate you out of what you think is good and valid. Because you might have figured out something or learned something that works for you. And a lot of times all they're trying to do is intimidate and control other people. And in cryptos, you spend time learning and you dig and dig and dig, and there will be humble teachers along the way that will actually teach you, not just intimidate the crap out of you and tell you that you're wrong and you have no idea what you're doing. You know, you shouldn't buy this. That's garbage. You're a bunch of whatever. And you can tell in the comments how people say it. And what they're doing is only validating their own crap. They're not trying to help you. They're just trying to make up for their own insufficiencies. So for me, crypto is amazing. If people are just more into educating, they won't have to use the hotline. They can get into it and they can do really well over time. You know, that's how I feel. How about you?
I feel you have to, lose some money on yourself to actually, learn some things, because you can get the best advice, in the world, but like until you get burned, you're not gonna learn it for sure. Because I remember the first couple of trades I made, I lost money. Let's be honest. I'm doing very well right now, but the first couple of trades, I lost money, and I guess it's just being very practical and just trying it out. You're just jumping in, but actually not jumping into all your money, just knowing how to manage money. That's the most important thing in crypto, I think.
Have you been involved with investments before you got into cryptos?
Nope.
So this is new for you, but you're being smart about it.
Thank you. Exactly.
I mean, it sounds like it. Everything I've seen so far. What are some of the ICOs that you looked at last year that this year you see like they're starting to move forward, or something that you think is developing? What are the ones that you might think are strong ones for people to look at?
I think my favorite one is, well, this is a very biased opinion because, it gave me a really big return. But VibeHub, for example, as you guys see, that one, I remember picking it up way back at the ICO. It was like less than a penny, right? But, nobody knew about it. Look at this graph. Like, nobody knew about it for such a long time. And nothing happened for months and months and months. Like, look at this. It went out in October or September. And that's when the ICO finished. And it hasn't done any real big moves until like January or maybe February right now. So one thing is really patience, right? And just following through with what you decide to do, right? Because I see a lot of people just making a great decision, but not following through. I remember, people, holding the best coins in the world, but selling them early, right?
So you're saying having patience is a big part of it.
Oh yeah, like, something people think I day trade. No, I month trade.
Month trade, I like that. I'm a month trader. I'm a month trader, right? And the trade that I was talking about on the channel was like a 2-week trade. And actually, a lot of people criticized it and said, no, it's going to keep going down. But maybe they have a different point to look at, and that's okay. It doesn't make me right and them wrong. But today, Bitcoin, on some of the exchanges was 10,800. That was a great trade for me. I did really well on it. And I don't care what anybody says. It worked. For me, the
made
end
you
of the
money.
day is it worked. I did it. I said, this is what I'm doing. You can do whatever you want. This is a good place for me. I did it. I watched it go down a little bit, and I was patient. And then today I was like, wow, here we are 8 days later or 7 days later, whatever it is. Nice. So I'm good with that. That's just for me. So somebody asked about, Vibe is a good one. I didn't get in on Vibe at all. That was my mistake. I didn't catch the vibe, but that was a mistake on my part, right? You were early on that one. I know last year I mentioned for
I
some
think
people,
Vibe is already, I guess, too hyped for its own good, if you want to put it that way. I'm not saying anything bad about Vibe, but you guys see what happened to the graph. A lot of people made lots of money. So when that happens to a coin, it's not as good of an investment as it was before. But let's just say that I'm still very, very bullish on Vibe. But if you're looking for something that actually is going to make you money, and you gotta take some risks, right? Because Vibe is already kind of proved, what they're doing. They proved that they have good developer team and good, good actual core team. So they're more or less kind of proven coin. No,
right.
Not even to mention any of the top 100 coins, right? They kind of already proved themselves, right? So you gotta find something that has potential, has really good core values, but isn't already quote unquote proven. And that's where you really got to look at coins which haven't jumped yet, which are in that long wait time, and are just getting ready slowly. So do you want me to talk about anything I might find really cool in the future?
Yeah, I would love to hear it. I get people asking me about a few of them, but yeah, I agree. You got to find ones that are either strong and then they dip down, which a lot of people get into the whole FOMO and they just go crazy. No wonder why they bought at 20,000 on Bitcoin. We're trying to, I like to think that maybe part of what we can do is teach people how not to do that, right? Don't get that. Get it early when it's exciting and you start seeing it start to build up, or when it dips back down. Don't buy at the height. I don't know why that is so complicated, but people get so excited. So what do you have in mind that you think is just waiting?
Okay, I think a good one is you guys will like this. Look at the market cap. It's less than 20 million. So this is very undervalued, and it hasn't moved since the ICO. If you look at this graph, it's for us spoiled crypto people, it's only a 5x from ICO price only. But it hasn't done anything since the ICO finished. It's just a steady pretty much a steady line, right? So this is something that hasn't done anything, and I got in the ICO and I like. And it's because it has a platform, it has a team, people are doing something, right? There's a marketing right now, but you can't expect something to happen right away. And even it's funny enough, Superman just retweeted something about hacking right here. We were just talking about it before the stream. So I think it's about to pick up some actual traction right now, but I think it's still too early to expect any big returns from this low cap coin. But I think in the longer term, we might see it doing something similar to Vibe, but if you're patient enough, or if this really is what it is, and something wrong doesn't go wrong, right? But we can't know that for sure. But from my information I have, I like this project, and it's look, the total supply is just funny low.
That's funny. I haven't done anything on hacking yet, although I've had multiple people ask me, and some of them are solid subs. So I know it's not people just jumping on and and spamming, I get it all the time. Yeah, it's all the time. But I looked at it a little bit, but I didn't get into doing a review or digging in. But I've had a few people ask me and say, hey, what about hacking? They're asking literally, can you just look into it for us? And I just haven't had a chance to, but that sounds like an interesting one.
Now, do you want to mention any of the ones you looked last year? I think it's your turn right now.
Yeah, it's funny because, yeah, I guess it's funny because I have this list of a lot that I never recommend necessarily, or I haven't really said to people, this is what I got involved with, right? So I don't necessarily say to people, I bought this or I bought a lot of these. I tell people, go look at them, and I didn't even buy it or I don't even own it. I talked about Pivx over and over, OMG. I talked about Dragon Chain. People today are like, you did Dragon Chain? Yeah, I did a review on it. I thought it was cool. And I talked about why I still don't own any. That one, I'm like, wow, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? You know, I talked about, I don't know, Bloom. I talked about INS. I talked about, SyncFab, another one that's not even exciting. Not like it's just not exciting, right? It's just because it's in the supply chain management. People are like, forget it. Props is social media out of the United States. I mean, that's one that I think is still a solid one. I haven't even looked at it. You know, I haven't even looked at it, but there's I did a review last week. I'm trying to think if it was last week. I forget when I did it. Connect Job. Connect Job is a good one. So Connect Job, I think they all do like .io, but Connect Job is a cool one because
it's .io.
Oh, you got it? Okay. So Connect Job is one of these ones where it's not about exciting. I don't know. I like certain industries. Like I like finance. I like something that will disrupt the banking. There's a lot of stuff. Like data is going to be huge. Security, privacy coins.
But if it's a security coin, like I'm super bullish for it, you know.
Right, I'm all over it. But Connect Job is just an example. I did a review on that because that is one that is about day to day. Like that's the new economy. People are just the gig economy, and I'm thinking the gig economy. All this, like you jump into a new car and like Lyft takes you, or you know, all these Ubers. Everything's like Ubered. And you're like, well, how do I get help with a babysitter? How do I get help with a plumber? I mean, everything is just, it's now moving from these massive, massive sites that you scroll through and all these people like the plumber advertises on, you know, all these things are basically already like Angie's List. They're already set up for us. They're growing. They're massive. They're unbelievable. Yeah, but if we can move that towards crypto, it might not be sexy, but those are cool uses of tokens in a utility manner that allows people to connect and just try to cut out the middleman, try to keep the costs low. And if you can I love this. If you can, and I don't even know that this company is not going to be the only one, obviously. If you can incentivize good behavior, like that's what it is. You make it so that people are accountable, like they have their own jobs. I was in New York City just a week ago. And I got to tell you, I've used Ubers, I've used Lyft, I've used cabs, I've used them all. And it was just a really interesting experience how some of them are more kind. They're more accountable. I'm not going to call anything out.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm not saying who's good or who's not good. I'm not saying that. But if you can connect people and just build a bridge for them to interact and use cryptos for commerce, this is huge. This is just an example. Connect Job is one of those examples that will allow people to do so many different interactions of commerce and make it easier. You know, I need a handyman for my house, and it's been really complicated to find somebody that shows up, that does the work that I can trust because it's my house, right? And all these things that people just like, I take it for granted. No, there's liabilities, there's insurance issues. Like how can I trust these people coming into my house? Same thing is, how can I trust when I get into a car that I'm safe? And so I think that blockchain technology used, if it's used correctly anyways, used in a way that helps people interact easily and then develop commerce, I don't know if it becomes the best investment per se. I'm not even using Connect Job as an investment. What I'm saying is it is a way that using blockchain technology and tokenizing it is going to be the wave of the future for us. It's just going to be like the millennials will be like, well, of course, that's what we do. And whether they use this company or another company, I'm sure that there's going to be a ton of them competing for so many different services. So it's not sexy like a security coin. It's not sexy like it's going to disrupt the banking industry. It's not going to do that. But it's going to move in the way of more use cases for everyday day-to-day commerce between peer-to-peer interactions between people. So that's just a good example. I don't even have any of their tokens, but that's one I think like it's not even exciting, but I can't wait for 6 months from now looking back, like what did they do? Is that one that is on a good exchange and it pops up 50% now, 100%? I don't know, but something to look at.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their ICO page right now, actually.
Yeah, and they have a solid team. If there was anything I would have told their team to do, and I think I said this in their review, I'm trying to think if I did or not. On their particular site, their team, you can find them on LinkedIn, but they don't have LinkedIn on their pictures. And I never liked that. So I can even like a project, but when I look at a team, I want to see that I can easily see who they are. I want to see their social media. I want to see their Twitter account, their Instagram. I want to see whatever they have, obviously. But I want to see them being active, answering questions, not just bots. You can tell when it's just a bot or they hire somebody. When there's real interactions, and you want to look at their LinkedIn pages on any of these ICOs, right? We don't really have LinkedIn pages of Bitcoin. I mean, you can look at core developers, but if you're talking about ICOs and altcoins 2018, you've got to have ways to check them out so they're not just, 90% of them disappear in a year or two or three. Who knows? So you got to have a way to check it out. So, all right. So you talked about hacking. I mentioned a bunch that I talked about last year. Oh, QuantStamp was another one people kept mentioning. Well, you and I both talked about Spective.
Oh, yeah. Let's not forget SpectiveVR.com or their SpectiveVR.tv platform that's kind of out already.
Yep. And now everybody's going to be buying computers that are VR ready. So it's like a matter of time. And their ICO ended. And I forget, I remember interviewing Dylan, and there was something about they were going to have in either February or March, they were going to be like on Fox Business, right?
Oh, yeah. They're supposed to be in Q1, which is basically March is pretty much the last month of Q1. They're going to be in, it's like I'm not sure the actual name of the show is out yet, but it's a show that like looks at the innovative projects, and one of the things they focus on is blockchain. This show, and it's going to be in Fox Business as far as I know, per anytime in March.
Right, that would be cool.
It's a pretty huge, national channel, and lots of people will be watching it. So
right, super cool. What other ones do you like?
Yeah, and I think you guys can get Spective off Ether Delta, like at ICO price right now, or something like crazy low, or like I think even below ICO price.
So
not saying it's financial advice, but like. Yeah, if you've missed the ICO, you can get some at the ICO, not nice price, or still at a nice price. Speaking of my projects, I got a nice one. Now some guys on my channel have been already mentioning it. Come on, I'm gonna talk about no Bitcoin, and you guys know I'm pretty biased about no Bitcoin because I've been following it, for a very long time, and I actually was gonna use it as a point that the day trading can just go like super wrong. And this is an example of no limit coin. I was about to make if you guys see in the background, it's basically a support level for no limit coin. I was about to make a video. I made a thumbnail of this, this pretty awesome support level because it's just such a strong support at 12 cents.
Oh, sweet.
And guess what? the next day when I was about to go live with the video, the price just drops under the support level to like 9 cents or 10 cents, right?
Yeah.
And this just goes so that there is no such thing as support level or whatever. It's crypto, man. You can't predict it. It's humans. And guess what? Like they're about to release like a surprise game, and the price just tanked. It's just like you just can't predict crypto.
Yeah, and day to day, that's why you're right. Day trading. I mean, good luck. Good luck.
Good luck. Exactly.
Swing trading though, but. I never looked at that chart. I mean, I've looked at No Limit Coin. I never looked at that chart, but you actually got a good chart up there.
This is a USD chart. I was about to say how could be a good day trade opportunity, and guess what? I was wrong. That's why
this is where. Yeah, but this is where patience comes in. So if you put together some volume increase with support, so if you get support on that 9 cents, 10 cents, 11, let's say, okay, if you get support on that, this is something. No financial advice. But this is a case where if you hold it at 9, 10, 11 cents and buy it on the way up, you don't dump all your chips in. That's stupid. But if you put it in slowly and increment it with 2, 3, 4 buys, and you have a position, you got to understand positions, right? So if you have a position and then leave it. So if it goes to 7 cents and you're like, oh my God, why is it going to 7 cents? Yeah, but that's a pretty solid chart. I mean, that's a chart that you don't usually see in crypto. So
this is a USD chart, though. It's not a Bitcoin chart. So some people like, only trading Bitcoin, but for a USD chart, I haven't seen a better one. That's why I was gonna make a video. But
yeah,
as soon as I captured this picture, like the next day, the price went just dropped like 25%. But then it's a low volume, low market cap coin, so it's a high risk, high reward. I'm definitely bullish on it, and I'm definitely waiting for this news of a surprise game, which you and me actually can heard some rumors, but I don't want to spread anything on the live stream.
Right, and you know what? When they come out, it'll come out big. And then who knows? Maybe then next thing you see that's a double or triple. So it is an interesting chart, though, I have to say. There's a lot of ugly charts out there. And people say, oh, you can't use technical analysis in crypto.
And this is the current position. That was a screen capture like a long time ago. And right now, if we see this big drop, it just dropped below that support level.
Right.
It was down to like, it was like down 10 cents, 9 cents. It wasn't that bad, actually.
Right. Let's see. So, not wrong. I day trade NLC2 to get more NLC2. That's a good one. See, so too soon to let any go. So he's saying like, don't let it go. Hold on to it. It's good, right? Let's see. I have some also crypto. Numnut saying, yeah, me too. Have NLC2. Have a wallet. Pretend I don't have it. I'll look at it in 2 years. So that's a definite hodl, right? Hold on for dear life. Forget about it. I don't know. We should come up with the new acronym. Or if you hold it, but you just like put it away, you don't even think about it.
HODL is getting so old, man. I don't want to use it anymore.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to come up with a new one. So, and Rick says patience is the total key, cycles and seasons, and that's true. There's always going to be cycles and seasons. You got to pull back from the forest, from the trees, kind of thing. And that's the thing. If you can do that, you can see that there are some trends. Now, people say no, technical analysis, you cannot do it. What they should say is, I don't know how to do it, or it doesn't seem like you can do it. Well, okay, but there are traders, whether they're big whales or big traders, that are pushing markets and stimulating markets and creating issues, and next thing you know, they're making 10 times what you're making. So to say somebody can't do it is always a better way to say is, I don't know how to do it, or I don't want to do it. I don't want to risk, or all that's fair, right? That's fair.
And speaking of technical analysis, now I'm gonna shamelessly plug in my own channel right here.
Okay. So this is Nicholas Live. For those of you guys watching on my channel, Nicholas and I have been, conversing about cryptos for a long time now. And so it's Nicholas Live if you haven't been to his channel. He doesn't do a lot of videos. I keep trying to tell him, you've got to do a lot of videos. He does a lot of great interviews. It's sharp.
And I was going to say that for actual, you made a good point how, teams is important. I actually want to argue against that. I want to say I don't think team is important for you guys watching, because you guys are not in my position. Like I actually, on my video, like my channel, I speak to like a bunch of CEOs, even on live streams, and just like, just bombard them with questions. And I'm just, I'm, plugging in my channel right here, but I'm just going to prove a point that like, for me, a team is important, because I'm gonna speak to that's the CEO or the team member and get a feel if they're actually any good or any legit, right? But for you guys, I mean, I don't think it's important for you guys to like even care about the team, because you don't really have any contact with him. Like, what are you gonna do? Read a LinkedIn page, and like you can fake a LinkedIn page so easily. No offense to your comment, and it makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, if you've had the experience that you feel like some of these interviews give you more of an insight, it might even be better, right? Because they could say whatever they want during an interview, but at least you get more of an interaction. It's really hard for people to just completely make up stuff on the fly when you ask them really solid questions. So the interviews you're doing have been fantastic.
And I think you guys, I mean, my specialty is, is not in day trading. It's not, it's not something like, trading coins that already exist. I specialize in ICOs, and but if you guys want to be something really good at something, you can't do everything in crypto. You gotta focus on one specific thing. For me, it's ICOs, and you just gotta bombard it until you're good at it, right? It's just about not spreading yourself too thin, right? And that's my second point. I was gonna say I was also gonna plug my second channel right here.
Go for it.
And like if you want to like get like actual good trading advice, you speak to trading experts like you, for example. You've been in this for a very long time, and like when I wanted to talk about some videos about actual trading advice, I know I went out and spoke to the actual experts, like two guys who've been trading for like 10, 30 years, right? So you guys gotta just focus on one thing. And these guys are good at trading, nothing else. I'm good at ICOs. And we can't, if you want to learn something, you go to a person that's really good at it, right? And you just can't do everything in crypto.
That's true, actually. You should be careful about spreading too thin. And, if people are really good at trading, it doesn't mean they're always right, but at least they have some kind of system that they've either developed over a period of time or, copied somebody else's system. So I think that's a big part of crypto, is where people get in and they hold on and they don't want to do any trading. I completely respect that 100%. For me, it's a percentage. So I'd never take, let's say I had $100 worth of cryptos. I would never take $100 worth of cryptos if that's my entire holding and trade that. I would never do that. So for me, it would be a percentage where I accumulate, and no matter what, I consistently have that sit for long term, and it could be 1 or 2 or 10 different cryptos that I may look at over time to reassess if I want them or whatever. But then I take a percentage. So that percentage for me could be, and it does fluctuate, let's say 40 to 60%. I'll just use that because I know it fluctuates, and sometimes it's even less. So take that percent. Let's say you take 40% or 30%, and you use that for your trading. So you've got your main point sitting off the foundation that, if you
core
lose,
positions.
Yeah, you got to have your core positions that you can sleep at night with and don't go crazy, right? We hope that this thing just continues to gain steam. And 2020, we all look back and we're like, wow, do you remember when that was $1.50 and now it's like $217 or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So, but then there's the part of trading that some of us really do believe that we can trade. And now I know people just say that, and you should keep, performance levels and make sure you can look at it and make sure you're doing a good job. But then keep it a percentage that if you're off, you're like, okay, but I still got my core position. And then there'll be times when you do really, really well. What I did last week, I did well. I don't know if it's better than just holding it, but it did well. So it's just my percentage of trading.
Oh, I'm
willing to risk that.
I want to talk about some. I actually met some like really, really professional, like high level stock market traders at a summit last year in Bulgaria.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I was surprised, like how these guys trade is not even comparable to crypto. Like these are some like next level, high level, like high frequency traders, right? These guys would like put in like around 0.4% of their portfolio per trade. So there is so many ways to skin a cat, and crypto offers so many opportunities. Like, if you want to make money in crypto, like you don't even have to trade crypto. You don't even have to invest. You can actually just go help a project, be an admin for God's sakes, and make a lot of crypto. There is just so many ways to actually contribute this beautiful, ever expanding world. I mean, people just think, oh, it's trading. No, it's not, man.
Right. There's a lot of ways. I think, and I've mentioned this last year, a lot of new people will come into the space. There'll be engineers, there'll be developers. There are people learning coding right now. There are entrepreneurs. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much that, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be developed that we'll never necessarily hear about. Marketing people, branding people, just ambassadors, like you said, that are just interested in a project. Just people can get involved with stuff. And some of these things, they could just use their alpha and beta that they're offering, right? You're like, oh, that's a cool idea. I like that idea. Fine, try out, be an early adopter. Try out their product. I talked about
beta testers. I mean, the list just goes on and on, right?
I talked about Crypto Hunt, the Crypto Hunt game. Now, some people said, oh, I don't, it's not, that's stupid. Okay, first of all, kids are going to grow up and look at these cryptos. It's like, of course, why wouldn't you? They don't even use cash. They're doing this. They're like, oh, here's my Apple Pay, whatever. So you think they're not going to be into cryptos? Of course they are. And they're already used to using digital assets in their games. So I thought Crypto Hunt's a cool idea. Okay, that's kind of neat. But there's just that concept that people can get in there. And even if you don't get really into the investment, go use the game, go check it out and see, or go use whatever other one. I mean, there's other ones out there, but you could just get involved with these companies by using and testing their stuff. I mean, why not?
I mean, if you're actually using a product, that's related to crypto, you're like 1% of people, because most people are just speculating, unfortunately. I mean, it's a sad truth.
Right. How about staking? I mean, some people are like, well, what about staking? Fine. Find a company that you really like, and maybe you get into the staking. I mean, there's a lot of them now, but just for example,
what was it?
Pivx is a company I like.
CryptoHunt.game.com, sorry?
Crypto Hunt.
Game.com.
Crypto Hunt Game. But I don't know if it's dot. I forget if it's
looking,
.io.
Become a real treasure hunter. I'm looking at the site right now.
So there's an example. They're trying to use AR. It's going to take a ton of money for them to develop, but they have a game. I don't know what development what phase the game is in right now. I haven't looked at it recently. I did a review a few weeks ago, but I know on their Telegram chat, they have, it's a very, very, their Telegram channel. It's a very active channel. So you can see people getting into it and saying, oh, how do I do this? How do I try the game? So these are just ways you can get involved. And I think Mr. Harry Lasagna said, he mentioned one, I gain more crypto for advisor positions than I do HODL or day trading. So I'm not sure I don't know what advisor positions he's talking about, but that's an example. So there might be companies that want to, trade coins for services that you have or pay you in whatever it might be. So
most coins pay their employees in coins, right?
Right. And, part of this is you're taking a risk in even the companies. But if you believe in something, why not?
If you
really think it's cool, right? There's bounties everywhere. There are people that are getting in and fixing bugs for bounties. I think,
for God's sake, even like just being like a Twitter bounties or all those like a Bitcoin talk bounties, like people do make a living just doing that like full time. I'm not saying it's a good living, but
yeah, no, maybe. But if they really care about something, I think when people, the good and the bad of it is, there's tons of spam crap, right? There's like everybody wants to just, hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do that. But I'm talking about if you really care about a project, then you just get involved with it and you put yourself in and see what you can do to add to it. And maybe if it's a legitimate company, obviously, and some of these companies they'll doing bounties and airdrops and everything else, like Mr. Harry Lasagna just mentioned. And why not? You get payments in crypto, and that is going to help solidify your belief in it. So why not get involved that way? There are people doing. There's a lot out there.
Okay, Videos Fruit is asking, is it too early to get in crypto or too late? Dude, like the party didn't even start yet. What's the real world adoption? Like, how many people actually hold crypto? Like, what, 15 million at best? At the best?
Yeah, it's tiny.
Like, how many people actually hold crypto? Let's be realistic, man. But I'm not saying.
Chat. Let's ask the people listening. Go in the live chat of both Nicholas and myself, and tell me what percentage you think people in general in the world are holding crypto. Because I know when I look around my friends and I talk to them, some very intelligent people, and some of them are very successful. And I'm thinking of all the people at this like recent party that I went to, and there were probably 40 people there. Okay. So I have cryptos, I guess my family, right? So, and one other family that I know of. Now, maybe there's somebody quietly holding them, but some of them in the group know that I'm into cryptos big time. And there's one other couple that I can, like, we'll talk and we'll kind of move over to the corner and be like, oh, yeah. Are you looking at that one? Oh, I'll check it out for you. What do you think? Oh, I'll check it out for you. Oh, I really like this. It's like literally just, we're huddling to huddle. We're talking about it, but there's nobody else. Like, there's a few people in the group that say, oh, I should have done it. Then there's one or two that are like, oh, I hope it crashes. Those things are so stupid. They have no idea what they're talking about. But what percentage of people really are involved with this now? Yeah, some people are like 1%, 1.5%.
You know what? Let's be realistic. Like, people, even the people who know about crypto, I mean, what percent of the people who know about crypto or even hold crypto know how it functions? Like, how many people actually know how Bitcoin works? Like, I'll be honest, I don't know how Bitcoin fully works down to the core. I mean, I have the practical knowledge, but not the behind the scenes knowledge. I can't fix a car. I can't fix anything behind the scenes when it comes to Bitcoin. Or like, dude, it's a crazy. There is just so much to learn.
Well, part of it, yes, it's an evolution, right? So if I said I knew everything about how it works, that would be, first of all, arrogant. Second of all, it would be incorrect. I feel like I'm always learning. And I'm always like, I want to know exactly how that works. And I keep learning from other YouTubers, from books, from some of the big ones, right? I mean, yeah, I know I want to talk about which one's going to be better this year, ICO or Bitcoin? Some special ICO or mix of ICOs or Bitcoin, or some altcoin that's just like waiting. It's just like it's wait. But also understanding the mechanics behind it is a big passion of mine, and I try to understand it, and I think I got it, and then I have to go back and watch again, and I'm like, well, okay, I got that part. I understand that, and I can answer that question and help the next person, which is to me valid, and I know somebody else is going to be able to help me. So here's Crypto Busa mentions, read Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas and you will know how Bitcoin works. And I've done that, and I agree. And I watch all his videos, and I watch everything I can. I watch some other good ones out there. And then there's some times where I'm like, yeah, I'm not quite sure, or I forget this piece, and I could kind of teach it, but I'm always going back to understand the mechanics. That's just me. But you don't have to know it inside and out. You don't have to know exactly how to design and engineer a car to use it and to invest in it and do unbelievably well.
I mean, do professional race car drivers know how to fix a car? Maybe. No, maybe not.
Yeah, probably not. So you don't have to be at that level. I have a huge passion for understanding it, but you don't have to be that level. The other hand is you get into a car that can go 200 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and you don't really understand it, you're going to get hurt.
Real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and
so, what other good ones do you have in mind? What else do you got going on this year you think might be happening? Or what trends do you think is going to happen in 2018 that are either extensions of last year or new?
I love this. I was waiting for this question. So for trends,
awesome. I didn't even know I was going to ask it.
We're going to see some really different changes when it comes to ICO investing, when it comes to crypto in general, because I'm just seeing piles of big old corporations just piling into crypto, and I'm seeing all these like Telegram ICO. You can't even get into that stuff. Like even I was trying to pull so many strings to get into the ICO. I wasn't able to get in. None of my friends were able to get in. I know some people who got in, and they barely got into that ICO. And you just see all these privately sold ICOs, all these big corporations coming in. Telegram's raising how many, $2 billion or something, and then you'll see I heard of some huge e-commerce platforms just privately getting ready for an ICO. It's just it's huge, man. And I'm just waiting for this mainstream switch. And unfortunately, when the mainstream adoption really happens, there won't be any room to actually make the big amounts of money, because it'll be saturated, and only the people who have connections or are already rich will be able to get in these early investments.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe right. Maybe it's just going to keep expanding, and we're going to watch in our lifetimes the complete steamroll of everything else that's not crypto, and maybe there'll just be continuous opportunities on a regular basis. But I tend to think, and this could be crazy, maybe this is just stupid thinking, I tend to believe there is this short window right now. And I don't know if that window is 1 year.
That is so true. I was talking about this, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's say a year, okay? 1 year to how many years? Is it 1 year to 5 years? Is it 1 year to 10 years? There's no way it's 5 to 10 years. I think it's something to 2 or 3 years where all of a sudden we look back. Maybe it's 5 years, and there's regulations everywhere. And there's regulations on, by the way, the U.S. is already doing this, on other countries. So you involve yourself with some ICO outside of the U.S., well, you cross the line of this rule that we have about these countries that we have sanctions on, or I don't know, I'm just giving an example, a rule that with, France, you can't trade with them unless, or Spain, or, the UK or Canada, or Australia, whatever. There'll be so much more regulation. And I think it'll be a battle between Wyoming today. Today, Wyoming came out and they were the state here, and saying that, they want to make it even more crypto friendly, and they don't want it to be, they want a classification between coins that are currency or investment coin securities and ones that are utility. They want to help people be able to say, no, I'm a utility. You can't throw me into that. Point being is there's going to be unbelievable amount of regulations, battles, who knows? But maybe it's better. Maybe it's better. But I think there's a window, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that window is like from today to, let's say, 1 to 5 years. And that period of time is going to be for people that have the guts, the willingness to put in the hard work, the patience, the dedication, the emotional stability, the amazing opportunity of a lifetime. I believe this. I could be wrong. Last year was a blessing for me like I could have never imagined. I could have never done that in the stock market or real estate or anything else.
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah.
Nothing. You? How about you?
I was preaching about this. Well, not publicly. I remember at that time, like a really close friend of mine in crypto, almost like a mentor to me. I was like, dude, like it was just 8 months ago when I quit my job and went full-time crypto. I'm like, man, I'm going to quit my job, and I'm doing it because this is a really small window of time, and I believe we have like less than a year to make to make the good money. And that, like, after that, the big guys will get in, and we're the small fish, man. And this was 8 months ago, so I think the window's like already closed, if not closing fast. So to make the real good money. I'm not saying you won't maybe able to make lots of money, but the real money to be made. I mean, it's like you gotta do it before actual big whales jump in. Right now big whales are gonna popping out their head, kind of testing the waters, putting in a toe, right? But like once the big whales getting in, it's gonna get real saturated real fast, and I'm still gonna be profitable for those that are early enough and have the knowledge and know what they're doing, but it's gonna be less of a profit margin. And
I just wish you were completely wrong, but like why would? So part of me says there's going to be some like Bitcoin, and I know some people don't like this, but Ethereum, throw Litecoin in there. Those, I think, who knows? Maybe they'll just keep going, but not at the pace that they were going, probably. Okay. Maybe they'll just keep going. I don't know. But I think when something becomes so big, the powers that be, the control structure will do whatever it can to make sure that's not the case. They'll either be in control of it or they'll destroy it one way or the other. But I kind of feel like maybe they can't. Maybe this real change is for real and for the better. But what I want to do is I want to diversify the potentials. So just in case. So let's say I have my base of stuff that I think could literally change the monetary system, and it's a monetary revolution, whether they like it or not. Okay, great. Awesome. I'm going to have those. And I've told people I'll go down with the ship on that. I don't care. I will never get rid of that core position, those core positions. And I'm sure there are a lot of people with me that have a belief philosophically, and they will not give up no matter what. Okay.
Oh, and no matter what, more importantly, like Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in general, they cannot go to zero. Like whatever happens tomorrow, they will not go to zero. You know why? I mean, look at BitConnect, the biggest scam in the history of scams. They're trading. I mean, they're at $10 right now.
It's unbelievable.
They have a strong support level at $10.
Like what?
And guess what? Like everybody expected it to disappear, but guess what? It's still around. Nobody's talking about it anymore, but it's still there. And it's at $10.
It doesn't make any sense.
It used to be $400 though, but like
Oh man, smash the like button.
If BitConnect cannot go to zero, I mean, Bitcoin is not going to zero for sure.
I know.
I don't care what happens.
Exactly. But I do think that the part that you're talking about of the window, that I think that there'll be companies, there's a crowd sharing is where it kind of started, right? So this massive crowdfunding and crowd sharing, and now it's cryptos, and now it's like open source, decentralized, peer-to-peer like it used to be in the good old day, and now it's global, and there's no party lines, and there's no, whether they like it or not, by the way, they'll try
it's
to make
$3. I'm sorry, it went even lower. I thought it was $10. BitConnect.
BitConnect. Oh, good. Oh, that's too bad. I'm so sorry. If you're losing money on
it. That $10 support level, man, it gave up.
There was no support.
You guys know BitConnect, is the biggest scam. Don't touch it. We're just making fun of it.
Go on. But if we can survive stuff like that, we can survive anything. But I do think that there's a period of time that we have that this crowdfunding, this ability to develop, because people are like, oh, there's too many ICOs, there's too many of this, there's too many. Those people don't understand that there's billions of people on the planet. Billions, right? You don't need just one answer or one utility coin or one functional security. It's just people have to open their brains and minds to there's something new happening here, and there's advantages for different people in different parts of the world in different ways. And if you're a maximalist of Bitcoin, I completely respect that. However, other people aren't. So it doesn't matter what you think or what I think. It doesn't even matter. What matters is we're seeing this evolution of people moving into the space for multiple reasons. One, they want funding. Two, they want more control. Three, they want better governance that's from the people, by the people. Okay. They want to have their own ability across borders. There's so many reasons. But bottom line is, I do think there's a window of opportunity that people can get involved with solid projects, and maybe it's not going to last. Maybe 5 years from now or 2 years from now or a year from now, it's really hard. I mean, all it takes is one rule, one law, or one government that wants to like really influence, that has to have power, not some small government, that really wants to influence, and the U.S. says, that's how we're going to do it. And there's a new Bretton Woods agreement, and the G7 gets together, or the G8 gets together, and they're like, this is what we're going to do. And all of a sudden it becomes complicated and difficult to get involved. I don't know when that's going to happen. All I know is right now I'm looking for, I have this sense of urgency, not to get people freaked out, not to give them FOMO. You got to be careful, but this sense of urgency of a lifetime opportunity. I could be totally wrong. I sincerely believe that.
I mean, that is just eye-opening, and I don't know. I'm literally the commentless. You laugh. I don't know what to say.
Nicholas, I got a few comments from people. I'll read a couple, okay? So Hector says, Spark, you're so right. So obviously Hector is like genius level. We know that, right? So, but no, the next one says, Coolness, who's always on the channel making great comments, says, knowing that there are going to be hundreds of or thousands, if not millions of blockchains, both public and private, I truly believe the interoperability space is going to be incredibly hot in the years ahead. Syncing them together, bringing them together, the interoperability. He's right. That is just like, you got to think beyond what like, for example, here's another comment. The one that will be used on a daily basis will win. Do I agree with that? Well, if it's a sum zero game, yes, but it's not a sum zero game, and there will be multiple winners. That's the thing. There will be multiple use cases in so many ways that people just see a good reason to be loyal to one over another. And then branding will come into place. It's not only about coding. Coding will evolve. Technology will evolve. People's belief systems will evolve. It's not going to be just one. Could there be one big currency that we all like to use? Okay, yeah, that makes it simple. Do I think that's what's going to happen? Nope.
I was just about to say that, the best currency out there is USDT. We all know this. It's the one that's being used most day to day.
Yeah, I mean, right. And a lot of people around the world would say, yeah, I don't like that. Well, exactly. But there's multiple currencies around the world. And in a lot of cases, people are realizing that not having one that's controlled by a central authority is a good thing, right? So having just one, which, by the way, can be centralized. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. There's different, and I mentioned this about 2 weeks ago, and Andreas made a great video, and he touched on the idea of centralization, decentralization, and it can change. It can actually change and be a little bit more, a little bit less in different case scenarios.
Oh, it's not a yes or no. It's not a black or white.
Exactly. It's not black and white. So, so it doesn't have to be just one. I mean, in a perfect world, we come up with these scenarios that would be perfect. But it doesn't work that way. So what do you think about the petrodollar?
I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
How are you going to make money on a petrodollar? It's dollar. I mean, dude, I'm an ICO guy. I'm not going to even touch that stuff.
What about the Petro coin though? Right. So we had the Petro, Venezuela came out with the Petro coin. What about that one?
Dude, I'm not going to comment on that. not even going there.
All right, so the thing here is they're going to base it off of oil, $59, $60 a barrel, right? So they're going to try to base it off. You come from a government that has been filled with corruption and centralization, and people want to find a decentralized, open source crypto that is related to it. I don't even know what to say about that. Rick Peterson says petro scam. I mean, yeah, exactly. But somebody will think it's a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what other trends do you see happening? What else do you see happening, Nicholas?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess I think a lot of people are getting very spoiled and very greedy in crypto, especially those who have been around in the last couple of months, right? And I mean, let's be honest. Like the other day, I had a 2x on a pretty large amount, and I was like, just a 2x. I mean, and then I sit to myself like, dude, like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I mean, like, I got my first 300x, in January with Vipub, and
wow,
and everything after that was like, it's just a 2x.
Right. Well,
so I see a lot of people becoming very greedy, and you gotta be careful of that, man. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, if you get a home run and you really, really get a home run, you think that everything's supposed to be a home run. But on the other side of home runs are strikeouts, right? So, that's why you don't have to win 5 out of 10 times or 6 out of 10 times. It's about managing your risk, managing your money and your emotions. So people that are good traders can win 4 out of 10 times and win big. You're like, wait a minute, how can that be? You lost 6, you won 4. That doesn't make sense. Well, because they know how to keep the winners winning and let them go, and they know how to get out of the losers. So,
yeah,
if you get a 2x, yeah, exactly. You get a 2x, you got to be happy with that if that's part of your trade, right? If that's part of your trading, it's a win. It's a good win, right? So that helps you play another day and then build off on top of that. So, yeah, it's pretty funny. So you think people might be getting greedy, though? Might be getting greedy.
I heard a really, rich and smart person tell me once. He was like, it's easy to get rich. Staying rich, that's the next level.
Right. That's the next level. Did you hear about that story in Russia where a crypto developer was beaten and robbed of 300 Bitcoin?
Oh, was it 300 Bitcoin? Damn, I thought it was like 100 Bitcoin.
This is a new one. So, what? But I have a question. I have a question about it. So I'm going to read a piece of the article for everybody, and then I have a question about
what's the new article? I'll pull it up in the background.
All right, cool. It's off of Cointelegraph. So even if you put Cointelegraph up, you might. It's like the top 5 articles.
So let me pull it up. Israeli Supreme Court. Okay, whatever. Russian. Oh, 300 BTC. Got it. Okay. Oh wow. Moscow streets.
Yeah.
Yuri, of course. His name is Yuri.
Right. So, all right. I'll read a piece of it for people. Okay. And then I have a comment and a question like, what the heck? So 4 unknown men kidnapped Yuri Mayarov, the creator of cryptocurrency Prism. Forklog news outlet reported yesterday, and I looked up Forklog, and you can actually go to their website, and you can translate it into English. They actually have some really interesting news that we probably wouldn't get a lot of here in the U.S., so I actually found that really interesting. So I do recommend people go check out their site. It's all Russian, but you can there's a tab up there for English. Data on CoinMarketCap shows that Prism has a total market cap of around 15 million and is trading at around $1 when they did this, right? So they say that according to Forklog, Mayarov was robbed of 20,000 or 300 Bitcoin. Now that's where I'm like, well, how does 300 Bitcoin equal 20,000? So who's doing the math over there? Because if I remember correctly, Bitcoin's around 10,600 right now. So 300 of them. Oh, they're saying, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. They're saying robbed of 20,000. Here's why it leads to my question. He was robbed of 20,000. I don't know what he had on him for 20,000. 300 Bitcoin, right, which is 300,000.
$20,000 in cash and 300 Bitcoin and 3 iPhones. Why does he have 3 iPhones?
Don't know. Not sure what he's doing, guys. Hey, listen, it's privacy. I don't pry into it's privacy. None of my business what Yuri is doing. However, if I'm surmising what Yuri's doing, I'm thinking to myself, He did this because he had his laptop with him, okay? Let's see. 4 men on February 23rd at 10 p.m. in Moscow put him into a Mercedes and beat him while the men drove around the city. The men took the U.S. dollars, which Mayarov had just exchanged for an upcoming trip to India. The iPhones in his laptop with access to his crypto wallet with 300 BTC, worth a little over $3 million today. All right, I did the math wrong. So let's see, 330,000, 300,000, 3 million. Thank you. I did the math wrong. So yeah. All right. Telegram channel MASH goes over to it, talks about him. They gave him a pill, forced him to drink some vodka, supposedly causing him to go to the hospital to report the incident. All right. So fine. But I have a couple of questions. If you have your laptop and your access to, well, we all know, your private key.
Wait, why do you have all your money? Why do you have 300 Bitcoins in one place? That's my first question.
Why are you walking around with the access to $3 million? Let's all say that together. $3 million.
Maybe that's not a bunch of money to him. You never know.
Oh, well, I hadn't thought of that. But let's say it is.
Dude, there's some like rich Russian guys, man, like some super rich guys over there.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
you got a bunch of oil.
That might be true. Maybe for him, that's traveling expenses.
For a bunch of activities.
I mean, I don't know. I suppose, right? Maybe he's going on a promotion tour for Prism. I don't really know. But right now, Prism's getting all kinds of advertisements. So,
jokes aside, I mean, poor guy, and like, this is actually a pretty horrible story. But like, they're just very lighthearted guys. So don't take that the wrong way, guys.
And it is a horrible. I don't want anybody getting beaten and robbed. I'm just thinking. First of all, people are now hearing about this. You got to be careful who you are, and if this guy is walking, listen, if it's pocket change, and I got $3 million in my pocket, I get security walking with me. Okay, if I'm worth $50 million. Maybe this guy is, I don't know. And that people are trying to find people that are into crypto. And this guy is ahead of crypto because he's the leader of CEO of Prism. You might want better security detail. That's all I'm saying. You might want better security detail. Either that or start learning Krav Maga really quickly. Do something to protect yourself. I'm sure in Russia they Krav Maga, martial arts. So learn some way to protect yourself is what I'm saying, right? Yuri probably didn't think this through well. I'm not sure, but I have a sub said he's trying to get away with paying no taxes. That's what he was probably doing. He didn't want to pay taxes.
Pulling out Trevon James on everyone.
I mean, I don't want to laugh at people's misfortune, but sometimes they make such bad decisions. You can't blame him. He shouldn't get robbed, but can't you think that through? Like, I don't care how much money you have, you can make stupid decisions. You know?
Well, let's not blame the victim here, but that is truly a horrible thing. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. Like, make it big and just to get robbed of it, right?
Yeah, Mr. Harry Lasagna said, I think Yuri might not have been a victim, right? So, in other words, it makes you wonder, like, what really happened here? I'm not so sure this happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It's very possible. I mean, dude, like, maybe he just wanted to find a way to run off with with ICO money, right? Where he raises money, he's supposed to use it for the company, $3 million, right? He raises money in ICO, he's supposed to spend it on the actual project. I'll just get robbed, and I'll go to Malaysia or something.
Right. I mean, who knows?
That'd be a pretty good plan if you're a bad person.
Yeah, you'd have to be able to spend it though. That's the thing. If there's nobody that can. If nobody wants to take, and that's what we need also, we need merchant services. If nobody's going to take your cryptos, eventually it's a challenge to mass adoption, right? You've got to have a way to spend the cryptos. And like, think of this, like what if the US dollar, which not happening, I'm not saying this, let's say the rest of the world all of a sudden said, yeah, we don't want the U.S. dollar anymore. Now it's connected to it's connected to the petrodollar. So until that changes, we're going to have countries are going to continue to use the U.S. dollar. But just hopefully that changes. A lot of people want it to change. I don't know. I think there could be both, whatever. But here's my thing. Let's say it happened tomorrow and everybody all of a sudden, like in Venezuela, you had tons of money, but you couldn't use it. Then what good is it? Like, what good is it, right? So you've got to have a way to use it. People still have to interact with services and goods. and we really, really need that. What do you think about that, Nicholas?
Oh, this brings me to an even bigger point. I just want to briefly go off topic and say, like, what good is it making lots of money in crypto if you're not enjoying it? Because I just know so many people who go into full-time crypto and just lose all sense of time, like I did, get addicted like I did, and just like not actually live life and just chase money. They're basically like crazy. And I mean, people gotta understand, like, even though this window of time is very small, I mean, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, man. So I think it's a really important thing to take away from anything is that making money is hard, but like actually living life is harder, man. Or staying rich is even harder.
And trying to balance it, probably.
I mean, people come to this channel hoping for us to talk about some hot, cheap altcoins. But like, dude, like the easiest thing is to like predict an altcoin and make money. Not the easiest thing, but what's next? What's step number 2?
Well, I guess if you do well, you should be able to experience some good fortune from it, right? And so for me, I'll give you an example. And this is, I don't like to get personal on the channel because I don't think people really care about what happens personally in my life. That's just my opinion.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
It's just, these are just examples, right? So I don't like to talk about my personal stuff to get personal. It's more to show other people like reminders, like, hey, this is what you can do with it, right? So for me, cryptos were so phenomenal last year. I literally got my family together and I said, all right, listen, we're going to go on a trip. So 7 of us, which typically it wouldn't work this way, 7 of us went on a trip. Usually my immediate family would take care of their business. Other family members would take care of their business. But at this point, I literally said, it's all covered. Nobody has to do anything. You want to buy food when you get there or buy a gift or something, whatever. Bottom line is, cryptos were so good to me, and none of them were involved with cryptos, okay? But it was so good to me, and the decisions I made were so useful and so beneficial for me. We all went on this all expenses paid vacation, 8 days or whatever it was, and they didn't pay a penny. They didn't pay for flights. They didn't pay for food. I mean, great dinners, entertainment. It was, nice restaurants, nice hotel, top of the line. And bottom line, it wasn't like me showing off at all. In real life, if somebody met me, they would be like, what? You? No way. I'm in my sneakers and jeans and T-shirt, whatever. Who cares? But I was like, let's all go have fun. Let's go do this and just enjoy it. And this is what it's about. And, so I did that. Did I get rid of all? No, of course not. Did I get rid of a large portion? No, actually. But it was an amount for me that I felt, and it is a very large amount for most people. I feel it was definitely an expensive thing to do. And for the whole family, it was very expensive. But it was all about, like, let's go enjoy this. Like, if it all goes away tomorrow, which I 100% believe it will not, we still have to enjoy the ride. Right? It's a ride. It's like this journey of life. And we can pick an ICO, and I'll be doing it. I don't care if I had 100 million and it was in all cryptos and it was like it could retire 1,000 times over. I love the chase. I love looking at ICOs. I love looking at companies. I like finding ones that are turnaround stories, that are dipped down, that are like blood in the streets and everybody thinks it's horrible. I love that stuff. It's just exciting to me. I love the underdogs. I love it when, I'm watching MMA and the fight is over and the guy who's about to lose turns it around and wins. That's just, that's just me. Okay. I'm a libertarian at heart. I want to enjoy life and suck the marrow out of it. And bottom line is, you got to enjoy it day to day. You can't wait and go like, oh, someday. So I love looking at these ICOs. I love the fact that 2018 will be a really big competition between alts and ICOs and Bitcoin. And I'm putting, if I had to look at percentages, I think there's going to be some altcoins and ICOs that are going to crush Bitcoin percentage-wise, okay? That doesn't mean I'm getting rid of my Bitcoin. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. It's my core. But you got to enjoy it along the way. You've got to enjoy it along the way and be balanced. Totally with you, Nicholas. You just went out to LA, right? Tell us about LA a little bit.
Oh yeah, I did go about to LA, and I was very fortunate to meet with a bunch of really awesome group of people because most people I know that are really good at crypto and are full time in crypto are from LA. Don't know why. So it's a really nice focus point where there's just lots of crypto enthusiasts, and I was just had an amazing time. I had this steak which was very expensive. I just was able to enjoy this very short period of time of me traveling over there. And I just gotta say, it's just nice to step away from computer once in a while, and I should definitely do it more often. I want to just tell you guys that what really helped me in the recent month or so was that I really just tried to hit the gym and sleep more, and just made my head so much more clearer when I was making decisions in investing or in buying ICOs or just buying tokens that are already on the market. So it's the little things, and if you look at your brain as something like as a tool, your performance is measured by how good your decisions that you can make them, right? So you gotta fine tune that tool. You gotta go drink lots of water, gotta get some good sleep, gotta make sure your body is healthy, you have good blood circulation. I mean, it sounds like a joke, like the most cliche thing I could say, but it's so true, man. Like, the hardest thing is, being above the other 90% of people, which you're trying to be better at in this very competitive world, and you got to take every edge you can get.
Oh, I could not agree more. I mean, here we are talking about how is it Bitcoin or ICO or an altcoin that will crush it this year, and we can't forget about our health, right? So if we don't take care of our health, then the rest really doesn't mean anything.
Fun fact before we end this, I really want to discover this. Do you guys know that it takes like 3% dehydration level to actually feel dehydrated and feel thirsty, but your performance goes down after 1% dehydration level. Just think about this.
You're already in trouble before you even know it.
That's why top athletes, and I used to be a pro. I used to train professionally, won tennis actually.
Did you really?
Yeah. It wasn't that high up, but I really had a good time before an injury. But that's why all athletes sip water constantly in small amounts to make sure they don't drop that few percent before they even feel thirsty.
So we should drink some water, make sure we're hydrated before we look at these ICOs. Yes,
exactly.
Who else did you meet up with in LA, by the way?
Oh man, so I could just, I'm not even sure where to start. For sure, in it for the money, amazing YouTuber.
Yeah.
We had a great time at his place. There is Dan. They call me Dan. He is like a mentor to me. Like, I learned so much from him. He was one of the first people I actually met in crypto 8 months ago when I went in full time. Crypto Daily, Cameron, amazing dude. He's hanging out in LA right now. He's there for 2 months and just enjoying life and working more on his YouTube channel. And I'm glad he's actually went from UK to LA to enjoy this beautiful weather over there. So he took that expensive trip. I'm sure his trip wasn't cheap either, but you gotta just take some time off, even if you're still working. Like he is constantly making videos, right? Will Walker, he's professional equities guys. He's actually an ex-professional Hollywood actor. I did some live stream with him as well. Of course, Rafael Gross with the CEO of NLC2. I had the honor of meeting him in person, actually. And that's why I say, team members are not important for you guys, because you guys won't meet him in person. But for me, like, I met the guy in person. I'm very comfortable, holding that coin, knowing that coin. So, like, unless you watch, like, really, like, long interviews with these CEOs, like over an hour at least, like, you won't get personal with them. And there's no really point in looking at the team members. That's what I personally believe. I could be wrong. And just lots of other people. John from Crypto Patterns. I'm actually doing the trading channel with him on YouTube as well. I was able to meet him in person.
What's his name again? I don't remember that one.
John, I think it's John Purston. He does... Basically, he's a 10-year professional trader, and he's one of the people I'm collaborating with on this, new mini series I'm doing on the side for professional trading and trading secrets and
cool.
patterns in crypto. Because I'm no expert in patterns, but I'm glad I'm learning as I'm showing it to my viewers on that channel I kind of showed on earlier.
There you go. No, then so people should go check out your channel. So if new people have come in, first of all, hit the like button. I think I only said it once in this whole hour, but definitely helps out on these channels. When you go to Nicholas's channel, hit the like button. You guys hear it all the time, but quite honestly, it's one of the only things that we can control that will help organically grow these channels. But Nicholas is clearly digging, trying to find people to bring value to his channel. And that's what you want out of these channels. There's going to be more of them. But you and I have had a great relationship, having great conversations, and you're clearly sharp. You're
every time I speak to you, and like, you're actually the one who's doing most of the talking, because man, you're just like, you have so many high quality things to say. I mean, you would not be talking if it wasn't, you know, high quality stuff. And like,
oh, I don't know.
I gotta say, man, these live streams are mostly you, man. They're mostly you. You got just such high quality info. Like even I'm like, my eyes get opened from just chatting with you on a live stream right now. And this guy, if you guys are, you know, from my channel, from, you know, my very smile channel, and watching this live, you have to subscribe to him. He's amazing.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. No, I mean, I do blab a lot, and I have people like, "Shut up! Let that other guy talk. Let that guy talk."
That is not true. Did anybody say that? Did anybody say that in comments? No, they didn't.
I think maybe one person said, "Shut up and stop cutting him off," but I don't know.
That was me. I was cutting you off. They're telling me to shut up.
No, if we go back to this live stream, and there's a minute and 20 minutes right now, guaranteed. I mean, an hour and 20 minutes right now, guaranteed. Probably 80 to 90% of that was me talking. That's all right, though. But listen, you bring a lot of value to it. And I love how your channel is expanding with some cool interviews in ways that I have not seen on other channels before, number one.
Thank you very much.
And some of the personal questions. And number two, is the way that you're looking for other avenues. So like I do a little bit of trading on here, and I watch some of the trading channels that are out there, and they're really good. And quite honestly, there's a lot that aren't really good. So it doesn't matter. So you're basically saying, hey, I'm trying to learn this, and I don't know if I can present it, but I know somebody who can. And if you can present somebody who can and bring them into crypto, and that's a huge value for people. I don't know the person you're specifically talking about, but that'd be awesome. I would love to have that person on the channel or in a chat, or give them credit and tell people to go to them. I'm always talking about other channels. So that's the other thing. You're good at figuring out, hey, where is the value in this whole space?
Oh, exactly.
So I can bring it. Love it.
I want to say that a really, rich CEO of one cryptocurrency told me personally. I remember, like, he's a very good big hustler. Like, he's a very smart guy, very young, and made it big already. And he told me this, like, in person, when I had the honor of meeting him. He was like, hey man, like, if you want to, like, make it big, like, life is pretty short. Like, let's be honest, like, the years when you have most potential are a very small number of years, right? And if you want to make it big, the way you do it is to focus on the things you're already good at. You don't have time to reinvent the wheel. Focus on something you're not good at. Focus on what you're already good at, and then you have a chance to make it rich and be the best at that, and actually be able to provide value. Whereas people who pay you a lot of money, you provided so much value. It's such a bargain for them to pay a lot of money already.
Agreed. And that is so true. I mean, honestly, that's why I have this sense of urgency right now. And it's like I'm focusing. And sometimes I've had people on my channel go, oh, Crypto, you look tired today. Crypto Spark looks tired today. I don't feel tired, but I'll tell you, I mean, I'm going like nonstop. It's like nonstop because I feel like there's this window, and I'll rest later. And I'm enjoying it, right? I get that balance. I find times I'm like, oh, vacation, or I'll do something, and I'll find the time. But I don't know, maybe people that are watching our channels that are sticking around, they feel the same way. And I think some of them do, some of them don't, but I think some of them recognize, like, now is the time. They're working hard at their 9-to-5 job. Some of them are getting into crypto, right? Some of them are just like, yeah, I want to get into crypto, but their 9-to-5 job isn't going to pay for like a comfortable retirement in a system that some of us think we don't know if it's going to really be here. Like, we don't know or in what capacity it will evolve to. It doesn't feel good. Like, it doesn't feel right. Every day I hear about Japan not able to meet what they want for inflation. I'm like, why are we excited about having higher inflation? Because they need to keep their Ponzi scheme of buying stocks in their market up higher every single year. It's like, we need more, we need more, we need more. that's, some of us are worried about that. Like the system is broken in so many different ways that we really are looking at cryptos like it's not the end all be all, but it's giving us the most potential that many of us have seen in our lifetime. And I'm not letting it go. So the guy, John, who you're talking to is like, yeah, you focus hard, put in the hard work. It's something you're good at, and it should pay off. And I know right now cryptos are it for a lot of people. They're like, oh, wow, this is a wave, and I'm getting on this wave. And I feel the same way.
Yeah, but don't get in a wave doing what you think is good. Do what you can be best at providing value. So like, just because you think the money is at day trading, you don't have to like reinvent the wheel. And if you're bad at numbers, like don't even touch day trading, man. If you're good at like, if you're good at like words, like go help, like go be a PR for like some small cap crypto coin in which you like. There's just so many ways to contribute. And if you guys that watch this far and watch this whole live stream, you guys are special. I mean, you guys really have a chance to do something big and you need to use it. Because if you were sticking around this long, that means you know what's up. You know what how to get things done, and you know what's the right thing to do. Just pull a trigger and do it, but do it in a way which you are good at it.
Right, I agree with that totally. Don't be somebody else. You'll be frustrated as hell, and it won't work out. I totally tell you, and that's that ego. Way at the beginning, and I know you got to go and I got to go, Nicholas. Way at the beginning, I talked about that car, that nice car driving down the road, and we look over and we're like, Nicholas, where'd you get the Lambo, bro? Nice, right?
BB.
And you and I both know a lot of those people are driving down the road and they're on loan and they don't have a secure future and they're spending their money and they're not wise about it. And my ego says, oh, he looks good. I want to do that. It's like, yeah, careful. I mean, you can, not to say you can't do it, but be careful of watching the flash and the excitement when in the end, that's just you trying to become the next day trader. Oh, I'm going to go to the casino and I'll make it. Good luck. Good luck. That's not what I'm preaching. That's for sure. And I don't think that's what you're preaching, because you can do it, but do what you have value and intelligence and talent in. And then that will bring value to other people and you'll get paid and rewarded. I hope. Right. That's what I believe in too. I believe in that process.
So make sure you guys stay safe, stay healthy, do a jump, do a leap of faith, and most importantly, subscribe for more great stuff.
Right. Don't forget to subscribe.
I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Spark.
Thank you
it was
so
amazing.
Much. And we'll talk soon, Nicholas. Thanks for everybody hanging out. So for me, that's your Crypto Spark for now. Thank you, Nicholas. Of course, we'll have more live streams. Great for sticking around. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure you go to Nicholas's channel, Nicholas Live. Subscribe to that, and we'll see you soon, guys.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. Bye.